When I was a young boy, my father took me into the city to see a marching band. He said, son, when you grow up, would you be the savior of the broken, the beaten, and the damned? He said, will you defeat them, your demons, and all the non-believers, the plans that they have made? Because one day I'll leave you a phantom to lead you in the summer to join the Black Parade.
Welcome back, Mother Cuppers. Woo! It is week 13, baby. 12 of them in the books. Is it just me, or did it feel like it got a little closer together last week? I mean, are we joking here? We had another guy get eliminated. You know, Seth's now out. He has joined Nate, but look at Nate, man. He looks a little more relaxed this go round.
Smiling.
Yeah. His arm up on the back of the couch. He's just chilling with us. We don't have Anthony, so maybe he'll chime in. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, we're in week 13. A lot of stuff happened. Playoff race is at a fever pitch. I mean, we are sweating bullets over here. Everybody needs a win. Everybody needs a win. Except for Andrew. He's already clinched. He's just cruising to the finish line at this point. But he still needs to perform in order to secure that bye. That's not a guarantee right now. So, important week for everybody, week 13. But before we dive into week 13 anymore, let's get into what happened last week with this week's PreCup. Breaking down week 12, we have prepared nothing, guys. By the way, it's Saturday. It's 9:40 on a Saturday. Recording, editing, posting the show all tonight. So we're going to go as quickly as possible. But again,
warp speed.
In honor of that, let's do the PreCup right now. And let's do it quick. I'm going to get it started with old Nate's matchup. He was taking on Nick Manarino. And, well, not much to say here. It was a close one. It was the toilet bowl. It did not disappoint. Nick at one point thought he had it. Then he didn't. Then he thought he had it again. Same thing was going on with Nate. At the end of the day, Courtland Sutton, Nick's favorite receiver. I don't know if that's true, but it's a Broncos receiver, and he roots for him, and man, that had to be hard to watch. Just Courtland Sutton getting 29 fantasy points. Oh, Nate wins, and he's got a little competition for the beer mile now. We'll see how it goes. You got anything to add to that one?
Yeah, good for Nate. He had David Montgomery on his team.
Yeah.
He might have preached something. Good on Cortland though. 29.7. Oh my god.
Good lord. Anyway, all right, let's get into the next one. We will do let's do the Bang Bang Scissor Gang taking on Smear the Spear. Not a whole lot happening here. Another really close one. Greg really was trying to secure his spot in the playoffs here. But now it's still kind of up in the air if he makes it. He's got to win out to really. Well, I think he only has to win one. I wish Anthony was here. He would have all these stats. But anyway, Greg's got to win, but he didn't get the win. Eddie got the win. Eddie got the win on the back of Jonnu Smith.
10 receptions on 11 targets, 113 yards, averaging 11.3, 21.3 on the day. Jonnu Smith, number one tight end since I believe week 8 on the year.
Yeah, he's doing good work. He's doing good work. So, yeah, Eddie, got life. Next one we'll do, let's do Paul and Andrew. Let's rock out with your Brock out, and dude, where's Lamar? This was, we all said it. I mean, it was gonna be hard for Paul. But did we all say that? I don't even remember if that's what we all said. Whatever.
We did.
Andrew wins. It was blowout of the week. Paul didn't break 100. It was a rough one. He had a lot of people on bye, but good on you, Andrew. Logan, what do you got to add to that one?
Paul's third best scorer on his team was his kicker, and he put up 11.2. So, can't do much to. That ain't gonna do it. And Andrew had a great outing. Good on Andrew. Tough dice down the road for Paul. Win out or you're out.
Yeah. So the next one we'll do. It was me and Derek. Tank for two and chasing cups. It was chasing cutlets while we recorded the show. Then he threw up a chasing cutlets, JK. Well, the joke's on you, buddy. JK went to IR, and Matt Stafford, he did fine in old Tommy Cutlet's stead. Derrick Henry did okay. Nico had a great game. Beyond that, it was not good. My team, they did what they do. They came to work. Actually, not a lot of them had a great game, but Tua had a great game. Trey McBride had a great game, and Terry McLaurin in a last-minute, what was that, 80-couple yard catch and run for a touchdown? Goodness gracious. I won. Get the brooms out. I swept Derek this year. Eat it, Derek.
Whoa.
Yep.
It was all great, but for a moment.
Yep. So let's get into the next one. This one had our heart pounding. It was Anthony and Logan. Jetta whipping and Barks and Recreation. Woo, man, it came down to, what was that, Sunday night? It was Sunday night. Logan, take us through what happened.
Was it Sunday night or was it Monday night?
No, Sunday night.
I've been foggy ever since. I know I needed 39 points out of Saquon, and he gave me more than that. And he wouldn't have done it if not for, it's over a week since, and I still haven't reconciled it in my brain. It doesn't make any sense. It was 3rd and 6 with 2 and a little bit left in the fourth. I think it was 2:08 left in the fourth. It was 3rd and 6. They're in midfield. They ran the ball for me. They did that specifically for me, and he happened to get the first down, and then about 64 more yards, and it was the last play of it. There was no other play. If not on that play, it wasn't going to happen, and yet it happened on that play. I'm not sorry. I am just happy. And yeah, fuck yeah. I'm still pumped about that.
Yeah, as well you should be, man. That was awesome. It was a great finish to the Sunday night, and it probably would have been the best finish of the week had this matchup not happened. Seth and Chris, attracting flies and neighbors think I'm selling dope. It was a close matchup the whole way through the week. But Seth had some work to do on a Monday night. And the Monday night schedule was Chargers versus Baltimore. No Ravens in this game, but a lot of Chargers. Chris had Cameron Dicker. Seth had Justin Herbert, Ladd McConkey, and Will Dissly, and it looked like it was a wrap. Cameron Dicker was kicking bombs, baby. Kicking bombs. The dude scored 16.6 on the day. Last drive of the game, Justin Herbert hits Will Dissly, hits Ladd McConkey a couple times, gets down to the goal line. Gus Edwards runs it in. Seth goes up by less than a point. And then Cameron Dicker comes out and kicks the extra point. Chris retakes the lead. Chris wins 144.48 to 144.12 in an absolute heartbreaker. Fucking brutal.
Ouch. Luckily, that was just to go to 3-9 and not to go to playoff contention. But yeah, ouch.
Yeah. It was big for Chris, though, man. He needed that win, and Seth
Huge.
with the loss, joins our man Nate over here in the basement. Good luck to both of you, really. I mean, good luck. That was it.
Let it not be lost that Jordan Addison went wide receiver 1 in a wide receiver room with Justin Jefferson scoring 30 points and getting just about every target. That was nuts. But
Yeah.
What a game. What a game.
What a game. All right, so that was it. That was the recap. We picked some teams last week, so let's break that down. Logan, you went 5-1. You were dominant over me and Anthony. We each went 4-2. Bringing our yearly totals up to, I'm 39-27, Logan 42-24, and Anthony 36-30. So, hey man,
It's only 3 games on you. That's close.
yeah, it's close. It's close. I did some work. I had one week where I got every one of them right.
Yikes.
Yeah, that was a good one. All right, so that was that. The next thing we have to get into is this week's Valley Traders. So, Logan, cue them up, please.
Yo, boys, cue the music. Talk about trades.
All right, so 2 trades since our last show, but before last week, Andrew got it started trading Dallas Goedert to Nick Manarino for Javonte Williams. Gosh, man, Nick was over Javonte Williams. His running back's like, I'm done with you. Get out of here. So Andrew had him on his team for less than 24 hours before sending him off to Eddie along with Zay Flowers for James Cook in return. Holy moly. Andrew, the trade king, gets 2 in before last week, but couldn't get a single one done before the trade deadline this week. But he was the guy spouting off, hey guys, listen, 3 a.m. It's not like tomorrow later in the day. It's 3 a.m. tonight on Thanksgiving. Let's get it rolling. But nothing happened. I say Andrew wins the trade. It feels good to have James Cook on your team, I'm sure. So good on you, Andrew.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
Don't love that Eddie has Zay Flowers. Do love that he doesn't have James Cook, though. But we'll get into that here in a bit. Next thing we are going to do is the Valley. Nope, we just did the Valley Trader. We're going to do this week in the DOC. So, Lizard, take it away.
Drinking out of cups, being a bitch.
All right, gentlemen, let's get this one kicked off with the toilet bowl. It's Seth and Nick. We got Attracting Flies taking on It's Bow Time. Seth got 21 points from Uncle Rico on Thanksgiving. Dude showed up sober, ready to roll. No, I'm not going to get into it. Anyway, Uncle Rico wasn't a degenerate. He got him some points. And this week, it's looking like the Justin Herbert, Lad McConkey stack should be pretty good in Atlanta. Only question I have for Seth is the Texans defense going to be good? Against Jacksonville, you'd think so. You'd think so. But they get Trevor Lawrence back. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Nick's, his running backs did pretty well on Turkey Day. CD Lamb, though, disappointing. But this is all going to come down to Monday night. Nick's got Bo Nix in prime time. See how that goes. Logan, which one of these mother cuppers is going to win this match?
I don't think it's Bo time. I don't think Bo Nix has enough on Monday. I think that's going to be, I see Seth having about a 35 to 40 point lead going into Monday. That's how I feel. And it's mainly based on CD shit in the bed, if I'm being honest. And I don't have a lot of trust in Adonai, both the player and the scheme. Richardson hasn't targeted him amongst the other players like he has. And Dallas Goedert, he had a touchdown call back this last game, or at least almost right there in the corner. Good one, probably 25, 30 yards. But even still, it was like one of 3 targets on the day. Maybe 3 or 4. I'm not looking at stats, but I watched the game and didn't seem like he was a focal point. I do think Chuba has a fine game, but I just mentioned 3 kind of duds. And Seth's got some artillery on the other side. You mentioned the Texans D. I think they'll be fine. If B-Rob plays, he should be good. Eckler's out, unfortunately. Just designated to IR very recently. And I don't especially believe in McNichols. I actually like Rodriguez more than McNichols these days, who just got activated from the practice squad. So assuming Robinson is healthy, he should see the lion's share of work. And while I'm not particularly confident in either McConkey or Disley, I think they both have fine games. And I think Herbert has a good game. With Rika already putting in 21, I mean, that's kind of huge. And I see JSN getting a lot of targets underneath because of the Jet squad that might focus in on the legs of a DK or a Brees. But because of his intermediate routes and his quick action routes, I think JSN feasts. Might have a lot of yards, but I bet he sees a whole bunch of targets. So, yeah, I got stuff.
All right. I think you're right. I think Seth's going to win this one. I think it's going to be close. I think Bo Nix will do fine on Monday night. But I don't think it's going to be enough to overcome the lead that Seth already has. So, Nate, you're not getting company this week. Not yet, anyway. Well, speaking of Nate, let's get into the next matchup. And it's Nate, and it's going to be Paul. Yo Soy Fiesta. First, rock out with your Brock out. Nate has an okay start. I mean, he had David Montgomery play 15.4 and Jacoby Myers 15.7. Solid games out of both of them. Can't be upset. Pretty much right in line where his projection is. And Cortland Sutton, can he have another big game on Monday? He's going to need to if Nick's going to get the win. Oh,
he has to start him. He's got to start Court based on recent games. He's got a big question at flex, though. Ramondre, I get it. But do you chase ceiling here? Because he does have a couple options on the bench between Tank Dell, Jerry Jeudy. It's tough. That's tough. Yeah. Ramondre had a bad week, but he had good weeks recently prior to the bye week, so maybe he reestablishes himself. That's a big decision. He might be right. He might be way wrong.
Yeah, who knows, man? Last week, Antonio Gibson got the lion's share in the backfield at New England, so it's hard to say. But I like the workhorse mentality of Ramondre this week against Indy. Paul, he had an awesome game against already with Dallas against the Giants. 24 freaking points. It's like the Cowboys from last year's defense. So that's awesome. It looks like he's getting Brock Purdy back. But I got to tell you, man, Paul has the most polarizing team, I think, in the DOC. Because you look at, like, these guys can go freaking off. But at the same time, they could just lay a complete egg. Like, last week, again, he didn't have a bunch of his players. Brock Purdy was hurt, but he didn't break 100 points. This week, he should absolutely break 100 points. I mean, he's projected 149. Cowboys getting 24 will do that. So I'm going to give this one to Paul. I don't think Nate has the ammunition this week. Logan, who you picking?
If there's anybody in the world rooting for Nate this week, it's me.
Yeah.
But I've still got Paul pulling it in. A lot of names. Somebody's got to hit.
Yeah, you're picking with your brain, not your heart. I love it. All right. Next one we have, well, it's Eddie. It's me. It's Smear the Spear. Take it on Tank for Tua. Ugh. Eddie, I love your quarterback. I love your wide receivers this week. I don't love your running backs. I don't think I'm going to love them any week. Not just this week. And Travis Etienne's your backup here. So really no good options there at running back. But Jonnu's great. Jonnu's awesome. He put up 21 points on me on Thanksgiving, so that's cool. On my side, I like my matchups. I don't love them. I like them. And for the first time all season, I'm going 2 tight end set. Logan, how do you feel about my 2 tight end set?
I can't fault you. Given the options, given the matchups. Do I expect Taysom to go for 40? No. But he's probably going to be in the teens. He'll probably hit his projection, I figure. Trey is, I've heard online, Trey is Kyler's binky.
I'm fine with it.
You can't count on anybody in Arizona, not even James Conner anymore, but you can count on Trey McBride to get some fucking targets. That's great for you. You know, there's some contradictions on the left side here. Eddie is starting Calvin Ridley, and he's starting Washington's D. I think he needs to be shooting for the stars here because he only wins it on ceiling. Trouble is...
You think he should put in Keenan Allen?
Yeah, I think he should retroactively get his hands on a time machine, go ahead and put Keenan in, and he'd be... I'd still probably pick you. I've got this down for... Yeah, I got it down for blowout of the week. I don't love the matchups for his rent payers, so to speak. I think New Orleans kind of surprises LA. I think that's closer than projections would show. Washington, we've lost 3 in a row. We gotta, get it to fucking together, guys. And Cleveland has a little bit of momentum. I know it's been a week removed, but they got Pittsburgh. And yeah, there's a lot of reasons to be excited about your team and not a lot of reasons to be excited about his. So yeah, putting you down. Blowout. 40 plus.
I will take it, man. I am here for that. By the way, for those of you who might have missed the last part of that game, or not even the last part, it was just the second half, but the touchdown Tyreek caught was intended for Jonnu Smith. Hit Jonnu in the shoulder, pops up into the end zone. Tyreek's like, oh, look what I found.
Yeah, and I failed to mention that, but that's also a huge part of it. This is you got angels in the fucking end zone.
I'll take it, man, and I will pay money to see that in the theaters. Angels in the end zone. Let's roll. We're making it.
It could happen.
For sure. All right, let's get into the next one. And the next one is going to be. I don't even remember what it's going to be.
It's me. Damn it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Let's start with that one. Logan and Derek. Barks and Recreation taking on Chasing Cups. Both y'all need this win.
He doesn't need as much as I do.
That's fair, I guess. Unless you win. Then he needs a whole lot. But you both have 21 points from the... Did you guys play Thursday? Nope. You guys played Friday. He had Brandon Aubrey go off on Thursday. Whatever. All right, so the Chiefs played. Logan, your Chiefs had to be a bit of a disappointment. I mean, Kelsey did fine, but you wanted a little bit more. You were hoping for more. And your Chiefs defense did not show up against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Well, they've been playing down to their competition as long as I've had them on my squad, which has been about, I don't know, 13 fucking weeks now. Doesn't matter if it's the Carolina Panthers or the Las Vegas Raiders or whatever. They're going to disappoint regardless of projections. Yeah, I didn't actually get to watch the game. I'm a retail man. It was Black Friday. But I saw a lot of notifications on my phone suggesting that the Chiefs were in the red zone. And rarely, if ever, nope, not ever, did I get a Travis Kelce scored. I'm glad he got his targets. I mean, I can't be disappointed with 13.8. Beat his projection, technically speaking. I'll take that. Happy about it. But Derek's got a lot of horses in this race.
Including DeAndre Hopkins, who was in this matchup.
He kind of watched out Travis, which, unfortunate. Well, I've got some matchups that I don't love, like Saquon at Baltimore, for example. That's a secondary you can exploit, but it's also a very well-coached team. And Barkley's coming off of the 9th best rushing game of all time, so you got to assume that he's going to get a lot of attention. The Tony Pollard matchup, mixed emotions there. We have been allowing a lot of rush yards of our opponents, but Spears has cleared concussion protocol. He's participated in the last couple practices, so he's going to be back in the fold and likely take at least 30% of those touches away. From a fantasy standpoint, you just got to hope Tony hits a long run. From a personal standpoint, I don't even want to watch the game. And I feel like DK is going to get some good attention at New York. And Seattle's defense has been playing well recently. That game, of course, is very big to me because I got Wilson and Metcalf going. And because I don't expect huge gains, I need my big boys to show out. And initially, I wouldn't have anticipated I would deliver George Pickens as a big boy. But goddamn it, against Cincinnati and their defense as of late, I need him to show up, show out, get a hand on those targets, keep his head in the fucking game, think about the ball before he thinks about his ego, and just play ball. I need Kyler to get his head out of his ass. The only reason I'm confident in Kyler is because he's so fucking wishy-washy and so polarizing that he can't hardly go 2 consecutive games being a normal human being who gets paid millions and millions of dollars to make smart decisions. And this past week, he made a lot of bad decisions. And so he's due for a good decision week at Minnesota.
Seems like you're very passionate about this matchup.
It's pretty important to me, man.
Well, it's going to be tricky, man, because let me tell you, Derek's got a stack back this week.
I know.
Burrow and Chase against Pittsburgh, divisional matchup. You think they might lock down Chase a little bit? You're hoping that they do. And he doesn't have a great matchup with Derrick Henry either, man. Going up against Philadelphia, that's a tough run defense. They're going to need Derrick Henry to win the game, but can they get him going? And I'll tell you, I think the scariest dude on this team is nobody we've mentioned so far. It is Nico freaking Collins. This dude is a nuclear bomb waiting to go off at any point. Like, he's incredible. Nico, I think, is going to have a just amazing game. I think it's going to be lights out. And then you got to wait until Monday to see if you win, because he's got David Njoku as well. And man, that's a wild card when you have Jameis Winston at the helm. So we'll see how that goes. I am going to give the win to, you know what, little brother? I'm going your direction. Let's go, baby. You got this. I'm going Logan. How you feeling?
Wonder.
Well, that was anticlimactic.
Well, you reminded me that I only have a 3-game lead on you, so.
I was hoping we were going to have a whole moment there, like high-fiving digitally and whatnot. But all right, whatever. We're getting into the next match.
What is my heart?
The next matchup is going to be, woo, a good one, man. We got Chris and we got Greg. It is Neighbors Think I'm Selling Dope, taking on Bang Bang Scissor Gang. 8-4 versus 7-5. Both these guys should make the playoffs, unless something catastrophic happens. But Chris already had his wide receivers play, and Greg has a clean slate. All the points are there for Greg. He hates Thanksgiving, didn't want anybody playing on Thanksgiving. So there's that. Chris really needs his running backs to score. He needs them in the end zone. Like, they're productive, they're great football players, they're wonderful for their team, but they don't always score the most fantasy points, and he really freaking needs that this week going up against Greg. Reason being, because Greg's running backs are going to have great games. Kyron Williams should shine against New Orleans. Joe Mixon will shine against Jacksonville. Kate Otten on Greg's side slowed down a little bit, and he's starting Darnell Mooney off the bye week, off the injury. And I think he's got players on his bench that would start over him. Probably not Nick Chubb, but Jawan Jennings, I'd look his way. Michael Pittman doesn't have Josh Downs eating up targets. I'd look his way. I don't know. Logan, what do you think about the quarterback situation going on with these guys?
I don't envy the flex start for Greg. That is tough. And there's probably 3 or 4 guys you could put in there, and I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. But his main guys, you got to stick by him. Quarterback play, I mentioned that I believe that Harbaugh and company are going to focus in on Saquon. Baltimore already has, fairly porous secondary. I think Jalen has a great game through the air. And if Saquon gets tackled close to the goal line, go ahead and punch a couple tickets for touchdowns. I think Jalen wins that matchup.
Yeah.
For sure. Regardless of Jacksonville's situation, I think Jalen comes out handedly, quarterback to quarterback.
All right.
That's all you asked me about quarterbacks. So.
I asked you about quarterbacks. Did you start out? Let me tell you about this flex thing.
I got over there.
I made it eventually. All right. Well, do you have anything else to say about Chris's team or Greg's team? Chris got a pretty good tight end down there, too. You think he's going to have a good game against Buffalo?
No, I think you hit it on the head. I think Joe's going to have a great game because he kind of deserves to. He had a shit game last week, and he didn't see a lot of carries, didn't see a lot of yards per attempt. It was just an off game, weird game. Yeah. Now he's got Jax. I think he scores more than CJ does. I think Kyron has a decent game at New Orleans, but I do believe that's going to be lower scoring than you might think. T. Higgins is going to be mild to median. If Jalen Hurts is going to have a good game, AJ is going to have a good game. Kate Otten has not been playing that great the past couple of weeks, and that has a lot to do with Mike Evans being back in the fold. He's seen a lot of those same targets, and I mean he's a first or second ballot Hall of Famer. He's going to, so long as he's healthy and his hammy's in order. And so, yeah, prepare to see Cade kind of fall off a little bit. But you've got TJ Hawkinson, who just broke the fuck out this past week. Not a bad slide in, slip in to put TJ in there after Cade if you paid any close attention to that Tampa Bay game. Again, I'm not sure about the flex options there. And you know what? Chris had good games from Malik and Jaden, but even still, there's just I don't see it shaking out. I think it's going to be close. I do. I think the Sunday night games matter. Or the Sunday night game matters. And Kittle's going to have to Kittle. He's only had 2 bad games. He's only bust twice this entire year. It's a very important matchup. He usually shows out against tough matchups. They're going to lean on him. I just don't think it's going to be enough. I've got the Bang Bang Scissor Gang squeaking this one out.
Yeah. All right.
I see it. Yeah.
You did the same thing. I said, what do you think about Kittle? You were like, let me tell you about everybody else.
I'll get there eventually. I'll answer your question.
All right. Let's get into the last one. It's the main event. We are doing Andrew and Anthony, man. Dude, where's my car? Excuse me. That's a movie. That's not the team name. Dude, where's Lamar? Taking on Jetta Whippin. 4 players on each side have already played between Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Lamar has not played, but he's not eligible to play in this game because Andrew, for whatever reason, decided that it was a great time as the QB1 on the season. Just continues his reign of terror against everybody he plays. Well, this is a good week. Week 13, let's put him on the bench. Let's rest him, make sure he's good to go for week 14 and the playoffs. So that's where Lamar is, just chilling down here. But luckily, Patrick Mahomes got him 18.6, which is like somewhere in the neighborhood of half of what Lamar usually does. So not a great plan there. And he started Isaiah Pacheco right out of the gate off of IR. Just let's do this. We'll do that. Raiders seems like a good idea. Yeah, he got 5.9. Josh Jacobs killed it. Macaroni and cheese of the Thanksgiving meal. Always consistent. 21 points. Anthony, man, he didn't fare as well, man. His Lions let him down. Jahmyr Gibbs, 10.4. Amon-Ra, 12.3. The Lions defense, 8. But Brock freaking Bowers, 30 freaking points, dude. Brock Bowers he's a problem. That dude is a problem. But I'll tell you, I think Andrew has some work to do here. But it's not out of reach. Like with Puka playing against New Orleans, that could be a monster game. Zach Ertz could just PPR his way to something special. Broncos defense with Cleveland, you know Jameis is going to be slinging it. They might get a pick, maybe a pick 6. I don't know. And on Anthony's side, Anthony just needs his stars to shine. That's what he needs. If he can get his stars to shine here, I think he can win this game. I'm going to Anthony. I think he can get it done with these dudes. Logan, what are you thinking?
I think Brock put him out of the gutter. And I think Andrew deserves to lose having started Patrick Mahomes over Lamar Jackson. And being like 13 A's excited about Isaiah Pacheco and then him putting up 5.9 points. Like, you didn't think we were going to let that slide, did you? Big Washington fan here, no doubt. I don't get overly excited. I'm pessimistic before I'm optimistic. And the losing streak we're currently on hasn't come as a huge surprise to me, even though it's been incredibly deflating. All that to say, I do think Jaden Daniels has a great game this week. I think we rebound in a big way. Sure, Zach Ertz might steal a touchdown, but I think Daniels finds his legs. I think he finds Terry. I think we find a win, and I think we find it with excitement and energy, and we feel good coming out of this week. I don't think Brees rather. I'm not hanging this win on Brees. I'm hanging it on Jane Daniels. I'm hanging it on Justin Jefferson, and I'm hanging it on Brock. I would love to see Marv score some touchdowns for very biased reasons, but I'm not going to hang it on him either. But you've already had your QB go, and you put up 18-6, and that ain't going to get it done. Jetta Whippen has got a squad. I guess I got Andrew going to 9-4, still very clinched in the playoffs, and Anthony going to 8-5.
There you have it. All right. Well, gentlemen, I think that was all of them. So, well, this is what we said. Gentlemen, so now it's time to get into the pre-cup parlay. We didn't fare as well last week as we had hoped. Some really dumb little itty-bitty things kept us from winning that money. But this week we have regrouped, we are ready to roll, and I would recommend making this bet. I am going to take Taysom Hill at 50 plus all-purpose yards. So receiving, rushing, 50 or more of them. And that is sitting at minus 250. So, again, kind of a safe bet. Logan, what are you doing?
I was looking at the Steelers-Bengals game, given the way the Bengals have been playing, given the way the Steelers have been playing. Yeah, a little concerned about Justin Fields working into these gadget plays, taking away some high potential plays, because it's not just at the goal line, it's kind of here and there. But I love the line. I've got Russ going plus 225 yards passing. These same sports books has George Pickens easily going for 70, like 80s, almost negative money. I got to expect that Calvin Austin breaks a couple. A lot of options there between Freiermuth, Washington, these guys. The way they've been playing, the way the locker room feels, the way the beat reporters are talking, Cincy's not feeling so great about themselves, given how good the offense is playing, how shitty the defense is playing. Steelers need a win. Tomlin's trying to rejuvenize that locker room. I think they have a great game. I think Russ helps to galvanize. I think he has a good game. He's probably going north of 250. I think 225 is pretty safe.
All right, yeah. Well, I mean, it's sitting at minus 115. So not as safe, but if you feel good about it, I feel good about it. Let's do Anthony's. Anthony phoned it in. He's doing the Tampa Bay money line. They're playing Carolina. It makes sense. It's sitting at minus 238. No explanation needed. If you total all that out, it's plus 271, and we're throwing $30 on it this week, and that's going to pay out $111.51. So, I feel like we're going to get that money. That feels good. All right. Logan, you got anything to say before we let them enjoy their Sunday?
I got nothing for you, boys. Good luck to you. Big week.
All right, then, Mother Cuppers. As always, we wish you nothing but the best of luck. And until next week, stay safe out there. What's that thing? That's the gummy?
That's the gummy. Oh.
I'll get it eventually.
That was so funny, dude. I'm sitting here like, I'm cracking up because every time I think you're getting ready to move to what I asked, you're like, yeah, and I mean, He's got a tough flex decision to make.